Hey guys, check it out. This is the Ford Super Duty Tremor. It is by far the biggest and, in my opinion, the baddest off-road truck that Ford builds. But Tommy said that he's got something that's much more off-road worthy and much better for off-roading that Ford also builds.
No, I'm sorry, I cannot listen to that because this is the off-road Ford truck you want. The Ranger FX4. It's quite a bit smaller than that Tremor, and it's quite a bit more fun. Here's why.
In this classic TFL small versus big video, we're going to compare Ford's smallest to Ford's largest pickup truck.
Yeah, but we're doing an off-road Ford video. What about the Raptor?
Well, it's not here, dude. What about the Raptor?
Okay, well that ends that argument, so let's get right into our FX4 Ranger versus F-250 Tremor comparison.
And I've got the most important tool, Tommy. I've got the measuring tape because we got to start with the way people buy trucks, and that is see which one's bigger and which one's smaller. Actually, we know which one's bigger and which one's smaller, but let's see by how much.
The absolute best part about the Ford Ranger is it's a mid-sized truck, which means it can fit in everyone's everyday life. It's the perfect size, and the best way to demonstrate that is, well, the overall height. So this Ranger comes in at just about 70 or 71 inches tall, which is very reasonable, under 6 feet tall, which means that if you have a garage, you're not gonna have an issue fitting the Ranger inside.
So the thing about the Tremor is it's Ford's most off-road worthy heavy-duty truck, or Super Duty if you're a Ford guy. And most importantly, it's got a 2-inch lift, which means that it's tall. So let's see just how tall it is. Yeah, that's a problem. Tommy, I think I need your help. Can you help me?
Yes, I will help you.
All right, get in there.
Lofter ahoy! There it is.
Now keep in mind, Tommy, that the average garage in America is 7 feet tall.
Yeah, the average door height.
Right, which means that, what is it, about 84 inches.
And the Tremor looks like...
How tall is the Tremor?
It's about 83 inches.
So there you have it. It fits in the average garage.
Hold up there. You really want to stress out your brand new expensive Tremor by pulling it into some barely fitting garage?
I'm betting that you can get 3 of those Rangers into the same width that you could only get 2 of these, because bigger is better.
It's not only the height that matters when measuring a truck, but when you're out off-road on the trails, especially here in Colorado, width is extremely important. So this is the Ranger.
Mirrors in or out, Tommy? In or out?
Let's do them out because that's how people use mirrors. Hang on, make sure it's straight.
Okay, straight?
Yeah.
So are you at the end?
Yep.
85 inches.
Oh, super narrow.
So this thing is about as wide as the Tremor is tall, give or take. Of course, heavy duty or Super Duties are all about towing, and these mirrors are not all the way out. They're kind of where you drive. So what are we looking at, Tommy?
Yeah, it's about 106 inches.
106 inches?
Yeah, so that's a full 20-some inches longer or wider than the Ranger.
Well, you know, it's not about the length, but it's all about the width. This is much wider.
So, of course, fitting in a garage is not only about width and height, it's also about length. And this Ranger, it's about 210 inches long, which is just over 17 feet. So 17 and a half feet-ish, which is actually pretty reasonable. Now, this is a 5-foot long bed. Let's see what the Tremor is.
Tommy, these numbers aren't exact, but they will do for seeing if they fit in the garage or out on the trail. So let's see how long the Tremor is.
Yep. Going, we're still going. There's 14, 15, 18, 19. Oh wow, we're gonna run out of tape here. Okay, there we go. About 251 inches, so just under 21 feet long. Now, if you're abroad and wondering how long 21 feet is, it's about the length of a city block, 21 feet.
Actually, the thing I'm wondering about, Tommy, is how big is the bed, because that's where that length comes in useful.
There you go, 80 inches long, so six and about 3/4 feet, just under 7 feet long, which is a super usable length in terms of hauling long loads.
Yeah, look, if you want to put a camper on this, no problem, right? Much harder on that. Maybe you can get a rooftop tent, but if you want to do a proper camper, or Heck, if you want to haul and tow a fifth wheel, right? This is what these trucks do. And the usefulness comes in the size of the bed. And you were talking about parking this in a garage, and I was saying you'd park it in a barn. But let's face it, most of these trucks will spend most of their lives outdoors. They're just so big.
Okay, now for the most important test of them all, in my opinion, which is the personal assistant test.
What's that, dude?
Okay, it's super simple. So I've got my pen, I'm gonna drop it into the bed, and then you as my assistant have to get it out of the bed. So ready?
Yeah.
This is the Ranger. Oh no, I've dropped my pen.
Oh my. I've just picked it up. I don't get, what's the big deal?
Easy pass. So this is the big deal. The Ranger has a low bed liftover height. So let's take my measuring tape here. It's just 21 inches to the base of the bed, but more importantly, to the top of this bed, it's just 56 inches. So even if you're a somewhat small person, you can still reach over the side and touch the bed. If you've got wood, if you've got stuff you need to pull out, easy to do in the Ranger. Okay, this is the pen drop test in the Tremor. Oh shoot.
How come I'm the personal assistant? How did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
See, no problem.
Okay, yeah. Granted, you're like 6'3", which is super tall, but here's the issue, ready?
Yeah.
So the bed of the Tremor to the edge here is actually just a little bit taller, only about 21.5 inches. But the big issue is the overall height of the bed itself, which has grown compared to the Ranger 5 or 6 inches. So now we're about 61. So unless you're quite tall, you're gonna have a major challenge touching the base of the bed.
No, look, this is how you do it. Watch this, check this out. So, pen's in the middle, right? You think that'd be hard to get to, right? Not so, check this out, dude. Hold on here. There we go. So check this out. This, and that, that, and that, and that, that, and that.
Yeah, and 3 hours later, you got your pen.
Oh, look how cool it is, man. I had a little step, and I have a little place to grip.
No,
it's cool.
It's very cool, but it's also not as easy as it's reaching over.
Yeah, but if this was, you know, bricks or something, this would be
If this
perfect.
were bricks, We've talked about the truck dimensions, but now it's time to talk about off-road capability. And we're going to start right here with the most important piece of tech, which is the tires. Now, the Ranger FX4 here, which is the most off-road worthy Ranger in the US, is rolling on Hankook Dynapro ATM all-terrain tires wrapped on a 17-inch wheel. Let's take a look at the diameter. So this is, it's about a 31-inch tire.
Hey, hold up there, buckaroo. What do you mean we've talked about the dimensions? You've forgotten about the most important dimension of all, at least for me, and that is back seat room. So let's compare those, huh? Come on.
I mean, it's...
How straight up are you there, Tommy?
Well, it's not brilliant, but it's...
Yeah, how much headroom do you have? How much knee room do you have?
I got a scallop
How would
here.
you like to spend like 10 hours back there?
Who spends 10 hours in the back of a pickup truck?
I'll show you. The greatest thing about Super Duty pickup trucks is that they have not only tons of capability, but tons of room. Now check this out. This is how one fits into a truck. Look at this. I could almost stretch out back here. I could go from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon in comfort in a Super Duty. Try that in your mid-sized truck.
All right, let's measure the tire diameter in the Tremor. Now, I happen to know a little secret because the Tremor package comes with these unique set of Wrangler Duratrack tires. This is a very meaty off-road tire, and it's also, get this, 35 inches in diameter. That is a huge tire on a stock truck, which means you really aren't going to have to modify or lift this if you ever want to take this into some really deep off-road terrain. Although the Ranger may fit better on some of these narrower trails here in Colorado, some of the other off-road numbers aren't as impressive. So the Ranger has about 9 inches of ground clearance. That Tremor? Ford says almost 11 inches of ground clearance. That Tremor also has a much better approach angle. The one area where the Ranger is a little better is departure angle, but the biggest piece of off-road tech that Tremor has is actually underneath. The Tremor has solid axles, so both front and rear you have a straight beam, which means it articulates really well off-road. That Ranger has a solid rear axle, but an independent front suspension. Another interesting thing, both of these trucks have a locking rear diff, an E-locker, but the Tremor package also gives you a limited slip front diff, so a lot of off-road advantage in the Tremor.
Now this is really where it gets interesting, because this is where not the Ranger but the Super Duty shines. So we're looking at a 2.3 liter turbocharged engine that produces 270 horsepower and 310 pound-foot of torque. The Tremor comes with two power plant options, and they're both made it to 10-speed automatic, so that's a level playing field. But there's a new 7.3 V8, and then of course there's this monster. Yep, it's a diesel, and get this, it puts out 1,050 pound-foot of torque, which, if I'm doing my math right, Tommy, is about 3 times as much as that engine.
Yeah, but it also weighs like 14 times as much. You don't need over 300 pound-feet of torque in a Ranger.
All right, let's talk about what that really means. How much does yours tow?
So the Ranger can tow 7,500 pounds, which Ford says is best in class.
Well, this one will tow 21,000 pounds. And let's put that into perspective by talking about price. Now, we don't know the price of the Tremor yet because it's not coming out until later this year or early next year. This is an early peek at it. What's the price of yours?
Yeah, it comes in at just over $44,000, which is fairly good value now in the mid-sized truck segment compared to like a TRD Pro or a Gladiator.
Let's take a guess at it. This truck will probably start somewhere in the mid-50s, and maybe as configured with the big Super Duty, it'll be in the 70s. I think that's a fair guess at what it costs.
Yeah, I think probably high 70s for the truck you're looking at here.
Yeah, so for $20,000 more, you tow 3 times as much.
Yeah, but who needs to tow 22,000 pounds on a regular basis? I mean, granted, some people do, but no one's going to be doing that with a Tremor. If you just need a little truck to have fun with off-road, tow a small trailer, get the Ranger.
I'm just saying, if you're looking at a truck as a tool, you get a lot more value with the Tremor. Plus, you know who needs to tow that much? The guys who have those barns. Now, Tommy, you might be wondering, why aren't we driving the Tremor? And that is because Ford gave it to us like a full 3 months before it actually hits the market so that we could review it. But we made them a promise, and that is we wouldn't talk about how it drives in any of these reviews.
That's exactly right. And you're probably also wondering, where is the 7.3 gas, the new engine? And that's coming. Ford's going to give that truck to us in just a few weeks here, once again, as an early tester. But if it was your money, which truck would you buy?
Oh, dude, there's no doubt. Value for money, the Tremor gives you so much more truck, so much more torque, so much more towing, and you can get it in an F-350 as well. How cool is that?
Yeah, honestly, I think the Ranger FX4 is a truck that 90% of people really need. And it's the truck that, more truck than I would ever need. But the idea of coming out of my driveway every morning and seeing that, just that face greeting me, is an absolutely incredible spectacle. We'll have to wait and see till Ford releases how much that truck's gonna cost before I make a final decision though.
As always, this is Roman driving the one you want.
And Tommy driving the one you really need. Go back to tfltruck.com for the latest and greatest.
And news, views, and of course, early Ford F-250 Tremor reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.